Hi everybody, welcome back to Unknown. My name is Roman, this is Luke, and in this episode we're going to be talking about dreams.
Yes.
Luke wanted to do this topic, so why is that? Why'd you pick it?
Oh, because I had some pretty trippy dreams while growing up, and
Okay.
I felt like sharing them.
We're gonna talk about the concept and idea of dreams because nobody wants to hear somebody describe their dream, right?
Well, then I don't have anything prepared
Yes,
for
you
this
do.
episode,
Yes, you do. I have notes. We'll talk off of that then. This is why I come prepared.
and I don't.
But I want to start with things that everybody sees in their dreams. Something that's universal, so it's not me talking about how Henry Cavill and Jessica Chastain were in my dream the other night.
All right.
So, teeth falling out.
Never happened.
Me too, but apparently it happens to a lot of people. And that generally means that you feel like something is out of your control, or you're not a fan of your appearance, you don't like the way you look, and you're overcome with anxiety.
I've had dreams about eating dirt.
In real life, if you want to eat dirt, that means you have
Ew, gross.
that means you have
disgusting.
pica, which is a mineral deficiency. Falling or like jumping off of a cliff.
If I did, I'd never remembered that, but I had those little like jerk reactions whenever I'm sleeping in class.
Yeah, that's happened to me a few times. Like actually jumping off of a cliff. I don't know why, but like most people like wake up before they hit the bottom or wake up when they hit the bottom. That never happens to me. I just hit the bottom and I'm like, I'm not dead. I'm not even that hurt. I just like twisted my ankle. It's weird.
Right.
I don't know, but apparently it means like actually like a big release of stress. Like you're free almost, because some people they'll jump off the cliff and they'll start flying instead of falling. So it's actually like a release of some big stress in your life. What's also a big release of stress in your life is peeing.
Nah, I never
In your
peed in a
dreams.
dream.
Me either. And if you have, get up immediately and wash your bed sheets, because it probably means you did it in real life too. So those are like three major things that everybody seems to experience in their dreams, and there are other through lines, some spookier than others, which we'll get to towards the end. But I don't know about you, but I didn't have dreams for the longest time.
I've always had dreams. They're always weird. Had a dream where like my sister was at the top of the stairs, I was at the bottom, and she like took one giant step and her leg extended all the way down to the bottom of the stairs. That was strange.
Yeah, but like, did you
Have you ever had dreams where you died?
Yeah, I think so.
I dreamt once where I like got shot in the head and I like woke up like a phantom feeling, not a phantom pain, but I like felt like there's supposed to be something touching my head there. I also dreamt that like I got shot in the side whenever I was like getting into my car, and then like I bled out in the dream, and I woke up all cold and clammy and like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say though.
That was terrible.
I didn't have dreams for the longest time because I would listen to like YouTube to go to sleep, so I'd have constant background noise that would flood my brain, and I didn't have time to dream, which probably isn't healthy. But when I would turn that off, or when it would go off in my sleep, and I would be sleeping in silence, that's when I would have dreams, and I realized that, and so I trying to wean off going to sleep with YouTube on. But when I dream, it is almost exclusively nightmares. I don't know what that says about me, but, and sometimes it'll get really bad to the point where I wake up like in the morning and I'm like tense, my heart is going a mile a minute, and it's like, I don't know what's like healthier, like just going to sleep with YouTube on and not having dreams, or suffering like the trauma that I've seen in my dreams.
I've always slept with the TV on when I was younger, so yeah, I'd wake up to like the George Lopez theme or the Shirley Temple DVD set. Then in the morning I'd wake up to the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, but the remote was just so far away, so I just lay there brain dead watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Yeah, that's me too. But those shows wouldn't wake me up. I would wake up to them, like just getting up for school in the morning or something.
Well, that last one, Mickey Mouse, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna describe my specific dreams, but almost all of them are like horribly apocalyptic scenarios. Like the entire world is ending. I had a dream one time where like time itself was ending.
Oh, shit.
Like nothing would be around to experience itself ever again. Like the universe was wrapping up. I of course had to be around to witness it.
I had a dream where this like a silhouette of a figure was in the distance, and he had like stars in his silhouette. I was watching my body from a third person view. Every time my third person view would get interrupted, he would get a little closer. It's kind of terrifying. I'm gonna cover reoccurring dreams later, but this was a strange dream where like these wizards were gonna do this like dark ritual, and I woke up with a nosebleed whenever they finished the ritual. So yeah, that was cool.
You have nosebleeds all the time.
I did not have them all the time.
Yeah, you
do. No, it's rare. Disney was a one-time thing because I was like the pain medicine was a blood thinner.
Yeah, it was a whole ordeal. We went on vacation. We like walked around the resort the first day we got there. We realized we were on the wrong side, so we had to hop a fence. The fence had a wasp nest on it. Luke got stung. He thought he was fine for a while. We got off the Jimmy Fallon ride at Universal, and his hand was like twice his size. And then so he had to take Advil, which thins your blood. And we were trying to go on Pandora the next day, Flight of Passage ride in Animal Kingdom, and right before we got on the ride, his nose started bleeding, and so the cast member was like, "Unfortunately, sir, you can't get on the ride." And a mutual friend, Blake, was not happy about that and was about to abandon us. Do you ever wake up from a dream and then go back to sleep and have another one? And if so, is it a continuation?
Yes, I do.
Really? It's a continuation of the same dream?
Not all the time, but yeah, I've had those continuations.
For me, never.
Really?
It's always something completely separate if that happens to me.
Do you ever have dreams where you're being chased by something and you think there's no way out, but then like this little thing clicks in your head, it's like, wait, yes there is, and then you wake up?
Yeah, no, I've had tons of dreams where I get so nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, and blah blah blah. I'm like, wait, I can just fix it, and I wake up. But it's like moments before I realize I'm dreaming. So I've never been able to lucid dream.
Neither have I. I'm pissed about that. I want to lucid dream one day.
For those of you who don't know what lucid dreaming is when you become aware that you're dreaming in your dream, so you can control what happens in your dream. So you're like, oh, I'm dreaming. I want to fly.
Right.
I want to, make this building appear. Like, you could just do whatever you want. You're essentially bending reality, which is very fun, but we have not had the opportunity to do that for every reason.
Mm-mm.
There's these YouTube channels that make videos where it's like, play this and you'll be able to lucid dream.
Never works. Do you have a music that you play to fall asleep to?
I'll listen to Skyrim ambient videos.
I listened to this one, I think it's the Cryo Chamber.
Yeah, we talked about Cryo Chamber a couple times
Yeah.
before.
It's like music for an empty world or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
they make really long, and it's not like music, it's like ambient music.
Yeah.
So, and it's different things like forest sounding ones and like Arctic and like creepy, more spooky sounding stuff.
Right.
Also, like, what is the evolutionary advantage to like having dreams, getting so scared in your dreams that you wake up? Like, what caused us to have that?
Well, it is believed that dreams help us process the information from everyday life, as well as give your brain a break so that it's not like stressed out at times. Like, it's the brain's version of TV. But like,
I would think the brain's version of relaxing would be to just shut up for once. but it just has to keep doing crap.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. I wish it'd stop every once in a while.
It was a long time ago, and I don't know if it went anywhere, but there's like an article where they were creating a device so that they could see into a person's dream while they sleep.
Oh yeah, that was in an episode of Minefield with Vsauce guy. Hey Vsauce, Michael here. That
You're
guy.
gonna get canceled because of that.
Why?
You can't just steal a person's opening like that, Roman. It's like me going top of the morning to you. You can't just take that from another YouTuber.
That reminds me. I'm gonna bring up Germa again, but this doesn't have to do with Germa.
Germa.
What I started watching Germa on Twitch, and I've noticed on Twitch there's like a culture of like YouTubers being inferior to them. I didn't realize that, but there's like kind of like a little culture war between YouTubers and Twitch streamers that are like, oh, that's a tuber reaction that you had there. That's a tuber thumbnail that you have, like where
That's stupid.
The thing is, like, YouTubers are like more like screaming in your face and attention grabbing. And I kind of rolled my eyes at that originally.
Same here.
But then I watched like a Jacksepticeye video. I don't watch him all the time, but I was like, he is just screaming just because.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm like, this is kind of annoying. And then also, I remember when he was doing, and don't get me wrong, I love Jack. I grew up with him. I love his videos, and he introduced me to Undertale and all that. But I went to one of his live shows in New Orleans, and I went and watched his video after the fact where he talked about his time in New Orleans, and he did that at every city he stopped at. And I was watching that series, and he was like, I think it was the first time in a while where he was seeing what his audience kind of looked like, and I think he found out that it was a lot more younger and immature than he thought it was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, yeah, like if you act like that and you scream and you feel the need to grab people's attention like that so much, then that's the sort of audience you're gonna get.
Cool.
Yeah, and this has nothing to do with dreams, but I found out this thing recently that I wanted to talk about. What I was really saying is like, yeah, what's the evolutionary advantage of this? Because like even dogs dream, other animals. I don't get it. Like, dreams terrify me more than they comfort me, so I don't get it. Like, is it just anxiety manifesting in your subconscious?
Yeah, I assume so. I mean, you seem like a very nervous fella.
Yeah, I am. Now, I talked about this in, it was our ghost episode, the first episode, where I theorized that dreams, as shown in Multiverse of Madness,
Yes.
is glimpses into other multiversal realities. You're seeing through one of your variant's eyes.
You got this from.
It's a cool idea. They got it from somewhere.
Well,
I thought
then-
they came up with it.
Well, then my alternate selves are all fucked. The amount of times they've died or got chased by like wendigos or some shit.
Well, I keep jumping off the cliffs and surviving, so don't know what that says about me, but
Oof. What is one of your oldest dreams you can remember?
oh gosh, I have no clue. They fade very quick. Like I went to where I helped my dad at work recently, and it was a lot of physical labor, so I was like exhausted after. So I just went straight to sleep at like 8 p.m., which is very early for me. So I woke up. Well, I had a crazy dream. It was one of the dreams where I woke up like stiff in the chest, and I woke up and I rolled over and it was 2 a.m. So obviously my sleep schedule was out of whack. And I hurried up and I was like, I have to write this down. So like 2 a.m. I'm frantically writing down like bullet points of what happened in my dream. And then I think, oh, I'm gonna still remember this in vivid detail when I get up later.
No.
And then I get up at 11 and I just look and I'm like, I do not know what I even mean by half of these bullet points. Yeah, it was just like Among Us, Big Brother, Jessica Chastain, Oprah, a man painting his driveway. And by painting his driveway, I mean like with a roller.
Right.
not like parky or handicap symbol.
Well, yeah,
So I don't know.
there are times wherever you're so exhausted from a day's work that when you lay down in your bed and you like close your eyes, it feels like a blinking. One moment it's like 8 p.m. You blink, and all of a sudden it's 7 a.m. and it's time for you to go back to work.
Yeah.
But one of the oldest dreams I remember, it was actually a reoccurring dream. I was in this like underwater factory, and there's a person yelling at me, but it was muffled because it was underwater. Just this high pitched ringing in my ears, and it slowly built up and up and up. Then all of a sudden, the factory exploded with us inside, and there's a bunch of bubbles because we were underwater.
Oh, those kind of bubbles again.
And it was reoccurring.
That's another thing. Whenever I try to run or like punch somebody in my dreams, it's always like trying to move through wet cement. It's never works. Oh, to go back to lucid dreaming though, in relation, okay, just bear with me here. If we were gonna believe the dreaming is looking into the multiverse and looking at your multiversal selves, how would lucid dreaming work in tandem with that?
Possession.
I guess. Because that's kind of what they do in Multiverse of Madness, but they just call it dream walking.
Yeah.
Like, in this multiverse that you're looking, like in this other universe that you're looking into, there was a path that it was going to go down if you didn't interfere. But say you become aware that you're dreaming while looking at it, and you make an irrational or different decision than was originally planned, would that cause like a branching timeline? Would you destroy that universe just by being present in it and making your own decisions? Food for thought.
I'm looking at your computer there, and I see the next Dream Man.
You don't know who I'm talking about?
No.
I'll put a picture right here
You're talking about the Sandman?
while I search for it. No, not the Sandman. This guy.
Oh.
You've never seen this man before?
Well, not that I can remember, no. He's kind of funny looking.
Yeah, people say that this man has appeared in their dreams, in tons of dreams, everybody's dreams, and they don't know why he looks so funky. But people have said that they see him in different places.
Does he
wearing
do
different
anything
things.
specific in the dreams? Like, why does he stick out? Why do they remember him specifically?
It's not so much of him doing something specific that makes him stick out. I think it's just his face that's super recognizable. And people are like, oh, I've seen that guy too. Oh, I've seen that guy too. And that makes it creepy. It's like, why is there this constant in all these people's dreams?
Imagine if he was just some guy stuck in like this dream realm trying to get help.
Maybe. He looks kind of nasty. He's kind of like...
Oh,
You know how in Lovecraft stories, with it's always the people that turn into fish?
yeah.
He looks like the halfway point. He looks...
He's gonna be haunting your dreams tonight.
Because I said that, yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Oh, that is a good thing if you brought up like Lovecraft, because like I think it's Lovecraft. Whatever. I know there's some like Eldritch story where our entire reality is these Eldritch gods asleep. And if like one of them wakes up, our world just kind of pops and disappears.
Yeah. Lovecraft wrote a lot of stuff about dreaming. Like, he has the whole Dreamlands, which is separate from his Cthulhu mythos.
What the fuck is that? Looks cool.
Yeah, it's a whole, like, fantasy world. There's actually, like, similar to Cryo Chamber, there's these channels, Cthulhu mythos music. I don't know what the channel name is. It's Graham Plowman who composes the music, but it's like background stuff you can play when you're doing like a role-playing game or something, but it has like a Lovecraftian flair to it.
Leave that up. I want to look into that. The Dreamlands.
Yeah.
That's
I've
cool.
listened to this a few times. But yeah, Lovecraft has like two big mythoses. He has the Dreamlands and his Cthulhu mythos. So Cthulhu is more like the elder gods and cosmic horror. The Dreamlands has horror elements, but it's not specifically completely horror related. I think, I may be wrong, I think the Mountains of Madness is one of his more famous stories. I think that's part of like the Dreamland mythos. Maybe I'm making that up, I don't know.
Wendigoon should do a video on the Dreamlands.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess those of you who don't know Wendigoon, he's touched on dreaming in a few of his videos.
Has he?
Mostly in his conspiracy theory iceberg, which I can link in the description if y'all are interested. More like government-related conspiracies in relation to dreaming, but
like how our dreams will one day be run by the government.
he has an audio that's kind of going viral on TikTok right now, where he's like, "Oh, you say the government wouldn't do that?
Oh, they
Oh,
definitely
yes, they would." That's been going viral recently.
Have you ever seen a name brand product in your dream?
I don't think so.
Neither have I.
Yeah. Oh, you also don't like see your phone in dreams,
No, you don't.
which I think that's a matter of fact of like they're so common, so ubiquitous that like we don't even think twice about them. So.
I know my brother in one of his dreams, he said that he had like a newspaper, and like at one point he had like this sudden like burst of lucidity. He looked down at the newspaper and there's just like a, not really words, but like a jumble of symbols on it that are sort of like bleeding away into each other.
Yeah, like you can't type in dreams. When you look into a mirror, your face is kind of like messed up and not correct.
Ooh, that seems like fun if you ever lucid dream.
Yeah. It's because like you really have like a warped idea of what your face looks like. You never really
See the real version.
Yeah.
Can I talk about sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I finished my notes, so
have you ever had sleep paralysis?
no, but I know what it is. You should explain it.
Okay, sleep paralysis is whenever you're sort of like half wake up. You can't move your body, but you can think and look, sort of move your eyes around. However, your brain is still in this dreaming state, so you sort of have hallucinations while you can't move. And a lot of people would talk about their sleep paralysis demon, which is a reoccurring figure they imagine during sleep paralysis. Now, have you had sleep paralysis? Did I just ask that? Okay. I've had sleep paralysis at least once, maybe twice. I'm not sure if the first one, I'm unsure if I was actually in sleep paralysis. I can't remember if I couldn't move or if I was just too lazy to move. But I had like this auditory hallucination of this woman talking to me about timelines. And now that got me pretty fucking tripped up. But other than that, nothing really came.
You're not worried about this occurring more often? Like it's a condition.
Oh, no. The first time was like back in before 7th grade. It was like
Oh,
I was really young.
I have a question. Have you ever slept walk?
Once. I'll explain in a minute, but my second sleep paralysis, it was actually last year, and there's this, I woke up, I couldn't move, I was laying down straight on my back, and I just see this like little munchkin of a man. Like, imagine you took like a goblin-like person, had them crouched down at the foot of your bed. Now, give them the haircut of like Wolverine, with like the sideburns and all of that. It's like a little Wolverine gremlin man. And he just stood there staring at me. And slowly, while the hallucination was fading and I got control of my body back, I managed to flip him off with both of my fingers while he was disappearing. I'm very proud of myself for that.
What?
I was terrified, but I managed to flip him off.
That's awful.
Are you saying it was rude of me to flip him off?
What if he was just chilling? I mean, did he do anything to you?
Well,
That
no,
does-
but the motherfucker was in my house.
That does seem to be a constant, is that they're always like crouching at the foot of your bed. I remember hearing stories about the creepypasta, the rake.
Ooh, that terrified me.
I
as a
heard
kid.
I heard one story
I thought it was real as a kid, which got me terrified.
where like, yeah, because there's like those photos that they found.
Yeah, no, I thought like I didn't know somebody making a creepypasta. I thought it was like, fucking story, like a news article online.
Yeah, I don't know what came first, but I knew they kind of were eventually put together and called the same thing. But there was a video of like something like that just looked like a warped human, like trying to walk across the road, and they called that the rake. And then there's also like a few internet stories that got popular that was called the rake,
Yeah,
and it kind of became the same thing.
that's like the little. Have you seen Until Dawn?
No.
Oh. Well, those, like the rake, those were the Wendigos, my reoccurring nightmare. I've had it like 3 or 4 times already. Running through the woods, escaping from Wendigos. At one point, they had like this unicorn rocket. That's like the only second strange thing in the dream.
Yeah.
Ron Weasley was also there.
Mm.
No, Ron Weasley's dad, Arthur.
Okay. I didn't realize they bring up Harry Potter so much in this episode. Yeah, no, the rake story terrified me because it was like the POV of a dad waking up to it just crouching and staring at him on the edge of his bed, and then waking up and going into his children's room to find that they have been just completely mutilated already.
Terrible.
That's the way I didn't sleep for like a week after reading that story. Like, there's some wild stuff on the internet that should not have been out there for us to access at the age we read them.
Okay. So,
Actually, before we get into that, just a simple question. What position do you sleep in?
on my side, not balled up, but like a little crouched. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I normally sleep on my side, but I have like a bent spine. Like, you could probably see me sitting in these episodes and I sit like this. This is my natural position. So I've tried sleeping on my back to help with that. But did your like sleep paralysis moment lead you into that pose where you're just sleeping flat on your back?
Yeah, I don't remember if I fell asleep on my back or if I like rolled over and ended up in that spot.
Okay. To see the thing
Yeah,
into
like
your bed?
sometimes when I'm really tired, I'll just sleep straight on my back, but
Yeah.
like it's more like I flop onto the bed and I don't plan on falling asleep, I just do. Yeah. So have you ever sleepwalked before?
No.
No. I have. Now, of course, this is a story I got from my mom because, I don't remember sleepwalking, but she was the one who caught me. Apparently, I got up off the couch, walked into the kitchen and opened the trash can, and then I unzipped my pants and was about to use the bathroom.
No. No, I thought, he was gonna try to like eat something out of it, but no, you fully okay. Some wires got crossed.
She quickly got me out of there and brought me to the bathroom, but I don't remember any of that.
Bless her heart. Yeah, no, I not that I know of at least, because like back at my parents' house, I have like my own little corner of the house, so it would take a lot for me to escape that, like unconscious. So maybe I just did it one time and didn't know, but I didn't have any sign of it in the morning, so who knows?
Do you talk in your sleep?
Not that I know of. I've heard my dad do it a few times, so maybe. And I'm pretty anxious, so I could see myself doing that, but I don't, nothing I know of.
Nah, I don't remember ever talking in my sleep.
I wake up drooling more, so I think I'm just out. I think I'm just tired.
So, my insomnia used to be really bad. Yeah, I couldn't sleep until 4 a.m. And then, I'd have to get up at 6:30 a.m. to get to school. But that's like 2.5 hours of sleep at best. And so once I got to college, I figured out about melatonin. Nobody told me about melatonin.
But does it have any side effects?
Well, you can grow a dependency on it, but if you're careful, it won't happen.
I know, but does it like also like thin your blood or?
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
I hear
make you drowsy.
I hear autistic people have more trouble falling asleep because they're like
High functioning.
something about their autism affects their ability to produce melatonin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, melatonin is something naturally
natural
produced in
thing.
your body.
Gotcha.
But the first time I got melatonin, I took 10 milligrams, fell asleep at 2 a.m., woke up around 5 and couldn't fall back asleep. So I took another 10 milligrams, which the recommended dose is 5.
Okay, that's good to know.
And then I woke up at 9 and went to class. And I wasn't too happy with the results the first night, but the following nights were very good.
Let me tell you, from like an outsider's perspective, I shared a few classes with Luke in high school. I've never seen most people just commit and just put their head down on the desk and wait for the teacher to wake them up. You remained upright and would just go and repeat that. I'm like, how is he getting any rest out of this? I don't understand. It would be like that for like 20 minutes, and you would be moving so much that the teacher wouldn't come by because they thought I was just like stretching. I don't know. But then you would stretch, and you want to demonstrate how you like break your back.
Well, this chair isn't really the best.
Well, it's much louder than that. Like when a cartoon character.
Oh shit. Yeah, I can't.
It's not gonna work here. But like when a cartoon character cracks their back, that's what it sounds like.
One teacher even asked me if I was okay after I cracked my back like that.
A vertebrae is gonna just like stick out one time.
But no, Roman, that wasn't me sleeping. That was me trying not to fall asleep.
Okay.
I usually failed, but
I don't know how eventually you just commit. Like, how do you not just say okay and just give up?
Well, I mean, I go there to learn. I don't want to be a nuisance to the teacher.
Okay.
Except I always got in trouble for sleeping in class and reading my book in class.
Which was stupid.
I loved reading.
No, not you. That was an issue that you were reading.
Oh.
Like, stop. You need to stop reading the, whatever it is, Dresden Files. You need to start reading All the Pretty Horses.
And then, okay. So this wasn't me asleep. I'm not sure what it was, but like, I was in the middle of chemistry class, and all of a sudden, I didn't like take anything. Except for the school lunch, which unless they drugged that, I don't know what the hell happened.
Took the school lunch.
Well, I mean, you can't really call that stuff food now, can you?
Yeah.
But my eyesight turned like this foggy yellow. I couldn't focus on anything other than my desk. I felt euphoric. I was like laughing and giggling, and I just like started drawing the shit on my paper. And it was like crazy ramblings. It's like strange sketches.
You would present me with this
I did.
afterwards, and yeah.
And then all of a sudden I like snapped out of it like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah?
I will say, just before I left here to go home for the holidays, I had a final the next day during finals week, and I was like, okay, I have this exam super early in the morning. Let me go to sleep early. And it was one of those nights where I was like, I'm so nervous about this exam. I can't go to sleep. I literally was up the entire night. I didn't get a wink of sleep, not anything. And I was like, oh God, this exam is at 7 in the morning. I'm gonna crash during the exam. It's gonna be awful. What did I tell you? I took that exam with like record speed for me. I got out of that classroom. I was done with finals for the entire week, but still had to be up here for a few things. I went and like walked like the lakes around campus. I was moving like a mile a minute, and I didn't get any sleep the night before.
You
I
have a
don't know.
lot of energy whenever you're low on sleep.
I guess so. I didn't know what got into me. I was good until like 8 o'clock the following night, where I crashed.
Yeah.
I could not. I was shaking. I couldn't move. I just fell into my bed. I've never experienced anything like that before, and I don't want to again. I'm always like that before like a big change, like or something like an exam, or I'm going on vacation, or I can't sleep at all.
Here's two fun little school stories involving sleep. One being, I once fell asleep during an English test. It was and I did it twice on the same test. I fell asleep on the same test twice.
You were telling me about that.
I was fucking out of it.
I take all the time allotted to me for tests, and like to the last second I will take. So I couldn't do that.
At some well, I didn't do it on purpose.
Well, I'm just saying I would be so distraught if I realized that happened that I probably couldn't even finish.
The other thing I want to bring up, I once had an essay due in the morning, but I didn't have a lot of it done. And so I was laying on my bed, working on it. I fell asleep, dreamt I finished it, woke up, went, oh, I finished it, I don't need to do anything more. Closed my computer, and then went back to sleep.
You see, I'm different because I cannot rest until I'm done all my work, until it's out the way. I cannot rest.
I have to rest. During my childhood, my sisters were adamant that our house was haunted. They both said they like woke up and saw this shadowy figure in their room, and it like terrified them. But before they ever told me about that, I've always had a problem sleeping in my room as a child. I would always have to make sure my closet door was shut. I would not sleep facing the window. I would sleep facing the wall, and I would have to have my bathroom light on to fall asleep. And like during that entire time, whenever I was laying in my bed facing the wall, I would be terrified to turn around because I always felt like if I did, there was gonna be something there, and eventually I'd have to work up the nerve and turn around, and of course there would be nothing there, but it would always be this like great relief to me, you know?
That reminds me of those videos where like somebody just punches their shower curtain just to be sure. But then there's like their wife is behind there like trying to prank them.
And another time whenever I was trying to fall asleep, I couldn't. I felt like there was something watching me. So I lift up my head and I look into the bathroom, and there's just my cat, my black cat at the time, staring at me. It's like, oh, you scared the shit out of me, Spooky. Her name was Spooky. I loved her. Anytime I was having a bad day, Spooky would sleep by my head, and then my dog Reese, she would sleep by my feet. They hated each other, but they would always sleep next to me during a bad day. It's cute. Before we finish off this episode, we're each gonna talk in detail about a singular dream we've had. Roman, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first if you're still thinking about yours.
I have mine in mind.
Okay, well, I'll go first though, but just because I want to say that this is at the end of the episode, just so if you don't want to listen to people describe dreams that are about nothing that ever actually really happened, then you can click off now, because this is the end before this. So, yeah, this one I had very, very recently, which is because, you know, I picked this one because all the other ones quickly fade from my mind. I have them written down somewhere, but I don't know, they're old now and I can remember more details for this one. So it started out like like a side scroller video game in like a cutesy little art style in black and white. I was like on a pirate ship leaving the docks and going out into the ocean. It was a storm and stuff. But I knew I was a little like chibi character on the ship. I knew I was looking at myself. So it was third person. And it's like, I'm trying to think of it again, like Inside. Do you remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Or like, it's like called Sails or something like that, where you have to like build or keep track of like a little ship as you go.
It's ship management.
Yeah, like that. Like one of those games.
Right.
And it was black and white, and kind of like a little art style to it. And I was going out into the ocean, and it was like a captain too, and it was me. It didn't look like me, but I just knew that little thing was me. And then like horrible long like crab legs and squid tentacles started coming out of the sky and the sea. In the distance. And then also, it's hard to describe this, but like there were chunks of reality, like chunks of the world around me that were just disappearing. Like perfect spheres. Like, how do I describe it? Like Swiss cheese is the closest thing. Like if the entire world was a piece of Swiss cheese and there's like holes dispersed throughout it, they were just like appearing. So like a chunk, like a skateboard, like whatever you want to call it, area, it was taken out of the ship, and instead of like being able to see into the interior of the ship, it was just inky blackness anywhere that matter was removed. And that started appearing, and more started popping up, and it would swallow up everything, like this other character's captain character that was there. And these tentacles and crab legs were like coming out of it and like pulling things into these inky black holes or spheres. They were just like absences in space. And then I like got impaled through the chest with one of these crab legs and dragged in and died. And then I didn't wake up, but just another dream started. And I was in like some sort of, this is completely different like setting, live action, first person from me, full color. I was in a townhouse, like a little thing with like a loft and like a couple bedrooms and like a kitchenette. And I was just like in a closet. Immediate from being impaled through the chest into somebody's like coat closet. And I'm like, what? And I like dig through the jackets and find the door handle to get out. And I'm like in somebody's upstairs bedroom. And so I look around and I don't hear anything. It's like oddly quiet. I don't see anybody. Nobody's there. And I go downstairs, and there are these 4 guys in like the living room kitchen area that are just kind of laying around. They look like young adult teenagers sort of age.
Right.
And one of them is wearing like orange accessories. One of them is wearing blue accessories. Another one is wearing red accessories. And then the last one is wearing purple accessories. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Lane is orange.
No.
No?
Nobody we know.
Oh, red, blue, purple.
Those are the colors of the Ninja Turtles. They weren't turtles. They were guys, teenagers, but they were humans. So my brain gajinkified the Ninja Turtles in my dream. And they were very chill about the whole situation. They didn't really quite know why they were there either. They were just kind of eating chips and pizza as the Ninja Turtles do. I'm a fan of Turtles, so maybe there was some connection there. I don't know, but I don't watch the Ninja Turtles. But then I forget. When I was in that upstairs bedroom, I looked out the window, and there was a guy, this is what I talked about earlier, a guy painting his driveway with like a long paint roller. Yeah. Just like pure white, just painting his driveway, which was weird. And it made, like in my brain, I was like, oh, this isn't real. I didn't think it was a dream, but I was like, oh, this is like a fabricated reality.
Right.
Like I'm in the Matrix and like this is a glitch, like something isn't working. And so the four guys downstairs weren't concerned, but I was looking at that and then I was like, there are no cars either. Like no cars here, nobody's coming through this town. What's going on? And I went into like a different building. I went outside and went to a different building that was like a communal like office space, like convention hall or whatever. And Henry Cavill was there, your guy.
Yeah. Superman.
But not as Superman, just the actor. And
The
then,
Witcher.
Yeah, and Jessica Chastain,
Don't know.
who played like grown-up Bev in It Chapter 2.
Never saw it.
Okay, she played also the bad villain in Dark Phoenix.
Never saw it.
She's done a bunch of stuff. Haven't watched her in anything recently. Don't know why she's there. The Ninja Turtles join me, and then the black things start appearing again, and we start like shoving things into the holes to get them to stop, and they do. And there is no solution to this. That's why I don't like Desire of My Dreams, because it's not like there's some epic climax. It's just that keeps happening, and then I just eventually wake up after I see the guy painting his driveway again. And also, there was always an aspect in the dream where it felt like a Big Brother situation, where somebody was constantly watching to see what we would try and do. Also, Henry Cavill and Jessica Chastain were very helpful in trying to figure out what was going on. The Ninja Turtles were not.
Right.
That's the end. Your turn.
Right now, funnily enough, my dream also starts on a boat.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a cruise ship, and I'm there with my family, and there's clothing and luggage everywhere as they all try to get ready, because apparently this cruise ship is run by a cult that me and my family are a part of in the dream. And so we arrive at the church on the cruise ship, and like there's just a crowd of people kneeling and praying as there's just like a woman at the very front who's like the physical embodiment of the God that the church worships. And for some reason, my character stands up and says something that apparently means that I am the reincarnation of her best friend. And there's like a blood moon going on outside, which also signifies my return. And so the dream shifts. We're at the very top of the ship, staring at the sky. The sky's red, and there's a long line of people bringing tribute to us, and we're just hanging out. Then in the dream, I sort of like wake up on the cruise ship, except this time it's day, and there's nobody else, and there's the cult leader's voice telling me to escape and to get to the very back of the ship. And as I'm running to the back of the ship, the whole thing starts to break apart and like evaporate almost. And so I have to be careful where I run and where I place my steps. At the very back of the boat is this little yellow inflatable tube thing, which I get in and float off away from the cruise ship. And here's where there's a very sudden change in my dream. It's one moment I'm on the yellow floaty in the middle of the ocean with a disappearing boat behind me, and all of a sudden I'm on a wooden raft in some like saltwater marshes, and I'm just like getting to shore. At that point, I start running. I'm getting chased by these two hunters. As I'm running across the levee, I look across this like pond or river or whatever, and on the other side, on a different levee, is a Black Panther running alongside me on the other levee. and it's like trying to come after me because it takes a sudden turn and is suddenly running across the water to come and get me.
Oh, that's not good.
Eventually, I run out of the marsh, which suddenly turns into a forest. And I run out of the forest, and there's just my house right before me, and then I wake up. Yeah, no, it was a strange dream.
That's interesting. Also, while you were explaining, I looked up what boats mean in dreams, since that was a commonality. It says they can symbolize adventure, exploration, new love, or indicate that your life could soon be open to many exciting new possibilities. More specifically, boat dreams can highlight you have a strong desire to travel, to take a break from your current reality, and experience something new, according to the Miller's Guild, whoever they are. That's kind of true for me.
I'm gonna have to look up keywords that like are part of my dreams.
I think this is all pseudoscience. I don't think it actually means anything. But
I agree, but it's interesting nonetheless.
yeah, I have been talking about traveling to different places a lot recently. So, but I think of a plane when I think of travel. I don't think of boats. So I don't know, because Vegas and London and Appalachia have been in the talks recently. So
I hate cruise ships.
oh
Like
yeah,
cruise boats.
What kind of
Cruises.
Mine was a pirate ship. What kind of boat were you talking about?
A cruise.
Oh, okay, that's a big boat.
It is.
You ran all the way and found one little floaty.
Yep.
Okay.
It was. Well, what other choice did I have?
Well, mine was unique because I could see the whole boat from my perspective. It was third person, which I don't actually have often in my dreams.
No,
It's weird.
In my dream, I could see things breaking apart underneath my feet as I ran.
Interesting. You know, just something I wanted to add in here. Something that I also find that happens in my dreams is that in the dream, I'll think it'll be a completely new environment, a new place, but I'll wake up and I'll realize, wait, that was just like the layout of my house, but it just looked weird. It looked different.
I once dreamt of a futuristic house, and there's these like little robots with baby doll heads chasing me. It's like this big swarm of them.
Like Sid from Toy Story.
Similar, but like not that baby doll head.
Like Barbie.
No, like a realistic baby doll head.
It was realistic.
More realistic than Sid's. And it wasn't like, not all of them were on claws. Some of them were on wheels.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add about dreams, since this was your suggested topic?
In the comments, put in your worst nightmare.
Yeah, mine are all nightmares, so I have a lot.
I'm not saying like something you would hate to happen. I'm saying like a nightmare that you've had in the past that you dreamt of. Which one was worse?
And why you think you had it. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you in your dreams.
Don't tell them that.